So this is a very, very specific message. This is for my specific Find Divine Chosen who have come to some type of reality as you have grown into your elevation. You could be of middle age, in your late 30s, early 40s, or you could even be 50. It doesn't even matter. But this is for someone who has had some type of reality check. So if your family's been hiding some things about how they have really been towards you, from you, and who they really are from you, and you are discovering these unfortunate realities about your families on your own, this is for you. And my name is Dominica Divinely, God's favorite light worker, the golden healer, the messenger, and your down-to-earth high priestess. So as I mentioned, this is for a very specific chosen Find Divine who have recently come into the complete reality in terms of exactly what has really been going on concerning possibly your mother, your father, your siblings, what they have been doing behind your back. You are realizing that they have really been against you, cursing you, trying to kill you, hold you back, keep you down all this time. You've always felt it, you've always known it, but you are really now seeing things very clearly and gained all the confirmation that you have needed. You have had the complete and full reality of everything without needing any more confirmation. You could be someone who has 2 to 3 siblings and you're realizing that not just your mother, but possibly your oldest sibling or your older 2 siblings have also been against you, working against you. And not just your immediate family, not just your mother and your sister and possibly even your father. Your whole family has gone against you. Your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents have all too gone against you because of what they have known about you and what you do not know about them. The strongest energy of hate comes from your mother, possibly whoever's raised you, a mother figure or an older sibling. This is mainly the energy that they have been projecting against you. Although many have too gone against you, have too been involved in what they have been doing. Even your father, if your father has raised you and been around, your father has joined in with them or has known about this. Or if your father hasn't been around, your father has just abused you in some type of way, maybe sexually, physically, and that all comes with emotionally and mentally. And as you were growing up, you could have possibly heard stories. You could have heard stories about your grandparents, your great-grands, about how they had these spiritual gifts. They could have been witches. They could have done magic. You've heard little things that weren't so specific about your family because you didn't know exactly what these people that were telling you were hiding from you. But throughout life and after everything unfolds into a bigger picture, you are now coming to the reality that you come from a bloodline of witches who have utilized their spiritual gifts. So coming up, you could have heard certain things from your family members that are connected to magic or whatever it was that they were doing, but you've never really actively seen them partake in any type of performing roots or whatever that it is that your family was into. Eventually, you have come to realize that many details were spared around you and they are not very talkative as much as they are when they are around other folks, especially when you are most likely the subject of the matter or the target. And you realize that your mother was always nosy when it came to you and what was going on in your life as you grew into an adult, but she was never there to actually aid you in any of it. But now that you are fully awakened, you have finally pieced together that your family indeed have been practicing magic and doing witchcraft on you, that they had learned from it being passed down by spiritually inherited gifts from your ancestors. They were secretly using their gifts against you, pretending like it went against their religion, hiding it all from you, while secretly cursing you, putting you down behind your back and pretending like they weren't doing what they were actually doing, just to keep it as you always seeming like the problem when things went wrong, when things went left, when things would blow up, when you guys weren't getting along. It was all to make you seem like you were the problem when they were actually stirring the pot. And if they weren't actively doing magic, they were actually cursing you with their words, the things they would say about you, how they would talk about you, and what they really carried in their heart towards you, how they will always try to interfere in your life to make things worse and not even be of support or aid or to help you with anything. The way that they discluded you and didn't show you love. There are so many different ways to curse people without doing intentional magic, and your family has cursed you. Some of your family could have actually physically attacked you without it being necessary. It's like that they had planned to take you down one way or another. Growing up and throughout your adulthood and throughout your whole life, you could have just had the roughest life. You could have had nothing but traumatizations over traumatizations. Starting from the beginning, you likely just had no type of chance. You could have faced many different battles. It was like you against the world. You were never really liked because not only did the curses place you in those positions to not be liked, you were still different at the same time, and you never really had the love and the support from the people that were supposed to be there for you. You've noticed how many people have known about your struggles and your problems, including your family that you were calling out to for help, and how they were more invested in helping you stay down and making your situation worse instead of actually helping you out of your situations. And you too had inherited your spiritual gifts. You just weren't steered in the right direction because you were put on the outside. So as your spirit was still with you, your intuition had already talked to you and made things clear about what was going on at the same time. You just weren't sure because you had never been able to tap in the way that you needed to tap in. So even still, your intuition had already set you up to know that something was wrong. Notice how people only pretended to be there for you by extending the bare minimum just to keep up in the loop of what you were really going through so that they can make sure that you stayed down. Notice how your family didn't even care about how your children were suffering the way you were suffering, and if they were affected by what could have happened and what could have been unfortunate and what could have ended with you. They knew that your children could have been killed right along with you as you were going through the fire that they were setting you up in. For a lot of you, your family even tried to turn your own children against you, or even just come in between the relationship of you and your children. These people really wanted you hurt. They didn't take your detrimental situations and unfortunate circumstances seriously. They didn't mind leaving you for dead. They didn't mind seeing you homeless. They didn't mind seeing you without any guidance. Your family really hated you deep down inside, and it became more obvious the more that they thought that you were stupid and wouldn't catch on. Meanwhile, while they were getting too comfortable with thinking that you were too stupid to catch on, you were spiritually inclining and growing into the person that you needed to be that will bring you out of whatever bubbles and illusions that they wanted to keep you under. So throughout all of the things that you have been through and that they wanted to keep you in, and what they thought that they was going to keep you in, that only pushed you into your healing and into your transformation. After many lessons and many battles and many elevations, you're able to step into the elevations and your complete levels of your spiritual gifts, as well as be conscious to the apparent and the obvious. And your gifts and purpose that you project out there are not used in the same dark, cold-hearted, bad intended ways that they use their gifts for. The bad ways that they project out there into the universe with their energy, you don't have that type of energy that they have for you. And your family knew that you were different when you were younger. The way that you would talk, the things you would say, your attitude, how you were just different from everybody else. Your family knew that you were the specific chosen one out of the group, and that kind of made them jealous. Aside of how you would just constantly piss them off, how you just weren't into the same things that they were into. It was so obvious that you were not like them, that you were the one that stood out. And they could have also gotten confirmation through their spirit plenty of times who you really were. And even outsiders, people outside of your family, noticed how your family treated you and showed you lack. And a lot of these people also treated you the same way. Outsiders were cursing you, whether it was with their intent and how they felt about you, or whether it was with their gifts and their magic that were passed down to them as well. So you basically just had no chance when it came to all these forces and these other people's energies coming against you until the vindication of the chosen, until the karmic season have come. And a lot of this karma is going to come back on your family, the people that you love and care about. And for some of your siblings, the ones who have gone against you, they could have had children that have grown up during these times. So it had to take time for their children to grow up before their real karma hit them. And that also applies to ex-friends and ex-lovers who have gone against you and have also had small children who could have possibly been thrown in the crossfire, but have gotten spared instead, because some of these people are supposed to be children of God, and God are sparing their children who have nothing to do with it. So it just had to play out until their children were old enough to accept what is about to come towards their parents. And I don't think accept is the right word, because I don't think anybody will be able to accept what is about to happen through this karmic season to their parents. So I'm just going to say who can deal with and handle what is about to come at their parents from their karma that their parents have wrapped up on. So their children have played a part in saving them up until now, and that just has something to do with divine timing. Divine timing is completely at play, not just with their children, but also concerning everything concerning what has gone on and how much has gone on and how much they have shown no mercy, and all the time and chances that they have had to show mercy and love and care and turn things around, but chose not to. So it's all about divine timing as well. So because your family had decided to put exactly who you are in the back of their mind without caring about who you are to God, your family has forgotten and decided to allow their anger and how they felt about you control them instead. Your family has set you up and helped put you in situations that could have killed you. Your family was not ever there for you when you needed them the most. Your family has backstabbed you, stolen from you, cursed you in so many worse ways, and has tried to drag you through the mud along with your name. And because their lack of care to realize that you as a chosen actually belong to the one true God, they forgot that your God serves vindication. But they had always looked at you as godless because of the way that you acted and how they thought about you. So now they're in situations that is causing them to be fearful of their own life because of now they are seeing their own ways and things are being illuminated, truths are being exposed about who they are, and whether they see who they are or not, their karma is still in hand and they know what they've done, so they feel the heaviness upon what is really coming towards them. They tried to throw God in your face as if God was more with them than God was with you when they were the ones acting so ungodly like towards you. So it was like they would bash you in the name of your living God. And God has never appreciated that. Instead of trying to love you, nurture you, support you, and be there in ways that they were supposed to be and should have, but yet in fact caused so many traumatizations to your life and added traumas to your life after you had already gotten over a different trauma, they would bring in more trauma for you. The tables have really turned in the most detrimental ways concerning them. So my point of saying all that, my fine divine, is that a lot of you are also about to come into a season of grief along with your vindication and along with your new profound happiness while leaving the past behind. Because these family members and the ones that you love and care about and the ones that you hadn't forgot about but yet you still had to let go of and cut off so that you can get your peace, so that you can get your forward movement, so that you could not allow this dead weight and these people that are cursing you and holding you back continue to be attached to you and you string them along. These people that you still have love for because you do not carry the heart that they carry, although you had to let them go and be on your own because they were not serving you the good that you needed. You had to let them go because they were no good for you. And now that your vindication and their karmic season have arrived, you are going to grieve. You're going to be sad about what is coming for them as you also enter into your abundance. And granted, some of these people probably have tried to pop up and make things right, maybe give you some type of a bogus apology, but a lot of these people really are not as sorry as they want to convince you that they are. And they are not really seeing themselves as they are. These people are only trying to convince themselves that if they conjure up some type of remorse, even if it's partial or even if it's fake, that they can likely dodge or get out of whatever is to come for them. But they can't, because God sees all, knows all, and feels all, and God tests the heart and the mind, and God knows what is really behind what they are saying and doing. And God knows that they are insincere, and God knows that they've never shown you mercy, so why should God show them the mercy that they've never given you out of so many times in years that they've had to give you mercy and love and turn things around? And you love these people. You have forgiven these people from a distance because that's what you had to do to be able to keep yourself protected. But because they never gave up, and even after you cut them off, they still were trying to find ways to get back in to hurt you and harm you or try to keep you down and keep you stuck to not be able to come into the season that they know and was fearing you to come into, which is your consciousness and your abundance season. They have to pay. Your heart was always sincere regardless of what you seem like, regardless of what you were doing, regardless of how embarrassing that they could have thought that you were. These people thought that you were embarrassing. These people thought that you were just a disgrace. Your family really thought that you were just nothing and you couldn't possibly fit in with them. But all along, as you were seeming like the menace you were, your heart was better than theirs. Your intent was always better than theirs. But because of what they were doing to you, you always had some type of stronghold against you that would never allow you to pull through the way that you needed to see yourself pull through and the way that you were trying to prove to them that you could do. Because of all of these attacks, because of all of these forces that were going against you all at once for all of your life. But now that you have grown and have overcome, it is now your turn to be vindicated. It is now your turn for them to see what they never wanted to see in you, and for them to be in the situations that they wanted you to stay in and they wanted to keep you in and try to. There are going to be a whole lot of deaths going on in my Fine Divine. You are going to be sad because you care. They may not have cared. You didn't want to see these people dead. They wanted to see you dead. You care. You love these people. So yes, you are going to grieve, although these people were your enemies. But you don't wish what your enemies wish on you. So you have a heart and it's going to make you sad, unlike how these people would feel about you. So get ready for a season of grief and harvest because it's on its way, my Fine Divine. Good job. I love you. And this is just for confirmational purposes only because y'all be knowing. And if this is your story and it resonates with you, it's my story too.